he was working in his study and a phone call came. And it was a long-time older church member who rarely participated any longer and was in a retirement facility, and she was wanting to talk. So he said he made an appointment with her for that afternoon and got there, and small talk, as all conversations do, soon led to an admission that as a young person, she had made a dreadful mistake some 60 years before. And she admitted to her minister that she had had an abortion. Now, this is back in the days before Roe v. Wade. This is back in the days when abortion was totally illegal. And it was back in the days when abortion was dreadfully, in some conditions, dangerous. But she told Leninger that at that time she was unmarried and she felt totally alone in her predicament. And she took the only way out that she felt she could take. And for more than 60 years, she had carried that burden with her. That burden of guilt. And that burden of shame. And now she was nearing the end of her life, and she was terrified. How could she undo what had been done? Well, you know, that was impossible. Of course it was. But the word of the gospel for her on that day was that it was not impossible through Jesus. And by the divine power of Jesus' blood, she was forgiven. And Leninger goes on to say that they talked for a short time after that, and he could tell by her body language, he could tell by her facial expressions, he could see the joyful, astonished look on her face that the terrible weight that she had carried for so long had been lifted. And he says, I doubt that she had even dared to hope for a hug that day. But that's what she got. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. If you go into a bookstore today, or if you listen to the daytime talk shows, or if you read the advice columns, you will realize how many people hurt and how many people want help. Someone wise has suggested that nobody ever went broke, overestimating the desperate unhappiness of the American public. So, with that in mind, I wish that we in the church remember that when we are tempted to lecture rather than listen, we would think about it. I wish we would remember more frequently when in today's society we are drawn more and more into battles about sexuality, or into battles about family values, into battles about social justice and war, that you and I are not in the morality business. And many of us sometimes think we do, but we're in the same business, friends, that Jesus was in. We, his followers, are in the business of forgiveness. That's what Jesus did. That's what the table is all about. The love of Jesus that manifests itself into forgiveness. So I ask you this morning, are you here looking for a lecture? Or are you here this morning looking for a hug? Do you know people in your life that sometimes you want to shake your finger at, but maybe it would be better to put your arm around them and say, I love you? You know, everybody is hoping for a hug. So I invite you to let's join hands together. Let's join this Lent and come along and meet that one and draw more closely to that one on a daily basis that said those words, Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings. pretty frequently. I need to be gathered. Pretty frequently. I think all of us need to be gathered. And when we will allow ourselves to be gathered under the wings that Christ offers to us, we have received the greatest hug of all. The hug of forgiveness and the hug of love. It's reserved for those who call him Lord. And when we receive it, then we have one obligation. Put your arms around somebody else. Pass that hug to them. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.